yes indeed. Welcome to the spiritual spring, some clicky thicky himself. That would be me. To complete your spiritual journey, please order an emotional support demon tiny plushie and also a mango plushie for the full spiritual experience. Links down below.
Disclaimer, we here at Spiritual Clicky Thicky Incorporated are not actually responsible for non-completion of your spiritual journey due to purchasing plushies. Thank you.
Oh, Mary Crimler, it's a Crumler. I'll put you over here. I'm just gonna make a Christmas tree full of tiny plushies, because I have like 200 in my closet for unrelated reasons. Please do not send help. I do not have problems. I will not accept any help. My doors are barred very shut. It's my plushies alone. It's my dragon. Good evening, laddies, lasses, and lazzles. Welcome to the Click. You smell absolutely astounding today. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Do I have a treat for you today, apart from like tiny, really adorable plushies? You know, on this channel, we have gone through a lot of bad women's anatomy, not how girls work, men riding women, all this kind of silly stuff, all aimed at the females. Trademark. But I figured, hey, Click, aren't we gonna dish it out towards the males? Trademark as well. Oh, yes, indeed. So today, we are gonna take a look through bad men's anatomy, crappy posts targeted at men, weird like fanfic writings that make me very blushily uncomfortable while reading them. So we're gonna go through it together and look at this absolute insanity directed towards the males. Trademark. Enjoy. Mwah. Ooh, I'm gonna be so personally targeted by this video. I'm looking forward to it already.
Just like doctors don't want to admit that it alters the brain or that there is a greatly higher rate of autism in circumcised men.
Now we're past the point of vaccines causing autism. Now it's circumcision causing autism. Oh yes indeed, I'm so glad we're here today for this hashtag science. Does this also mean that if you like randomly get circumcised later on in life, you just spontaneously turn autistic? Is that like a thing? Can we experiment on this? Do we have any volunteers in the audience? No, please, no. No.
Will applying fresh semen to a wound help it what?
What about that makes you think it's possible?
You can purify a woman if you have an important ejaculation when you frick her when she has her period.
What do you mean cleanser? Is this one of those period shortcuts I have read about? You know, when some woman was ranting about like,
oh my god, these young women with their life hacks, they use vacuum cleaners to suck out the period faster than usual and it's not good.
What on earth are you talking about? Is this the same thing?
That is to say she will have a much less significant flow of blood afterwards, as if the splooshies absorbed it, and suddenly it is almost clean. So I wonder if I put male splooshies on a bloody wound, could it have a healing or antiseptic effect?
What the f***? Oh man, and I thought like all the posts on insane parents regarding like quack medicine and stuff was bad. Now we're at the point where it's like, oh baby, you have this infected wound or whatever. Oh no, we're not gonna take it to the doctor here. I'm just gonna do it the good old-fashioned way, okay? This is how our ancestors did this. That's why our ancestors died of sepsis, Steve.
It was against the rules to excuse myself in the presence of the alpha. But I didn't give a damn.
Wow.
I sprinted to the bathroom, locking the stall door. But then I heard it. The restroom door opening. His footsteps. The alpha was standing right outside my stall.
The alpha.
I can smell your excitement, woman.
Your point?
Why aren't you taking care of it?
What gives you the right to talk to me that way? Who do you think you are? I didn't have a chance to second guess myself. Because next thing I knew, the door burst open.
Oh, just like my
You know
butt.
exactly who I am. Say it.
You're
The alpha.
Alpha.
Oh,
Say my name. The one you'll be screaming soon.
oh, wait, it has a caption. Sienna is the only virgin in the pack, and the alpha has his eyes on her. Does it also have the sensual AI voiceovers? Man, this is absolutely astounding. I could feel something inside of me that I didn't even know was there, and I never want to feel that again. Man, for anyone at home stepping up their Tinder game, I can smell your excitement, woman. Oh, well, Alpha, please don't smell my excitement. What the? They're not like dogs in heat, okay? This is this is like both bad men's anatomy and just bad women's anatomy. This is bad for everyone. Hashtag equality, baby.
Why can't we hear the slooshing around in the balls?
I can totally see this as some like unhinged couples tips on some whack subreddit where it's like how to figure out your man is cheating. Just lean down, dingle the balls, and if they do a slooshing sound or not, you can tell if he's recently been splooshified or not. Husband, this sounds dry. Snip, snip it is. I mean, you could just say the same thing for like pee. No? Okay, logic isn't a thing here today. 'Cause it's powder form in the balls. Men are officially laser printers. Holy shit. Once it gets mixed with pee, it becomes liquid. Wait, so let me get this straight here for a second. You have one ball with pee, and then you have one ball with powdered splooshies, and then they mix together and form the magical baby glue that is then printed out of the pee-pee. The pee is only stored in one ball. Holy shit, that's actually where it went. I'm like literally Nostradamus, but for like unhinged online posts. Usually the right one, which is why it sags down. Let me know in the comments how many dudes like stood up after reading this, like actually double check this. Is this real? The other ball is the powder ball. It holds the desiccated spermatoza powder until it's needed. Basic biology. I love it when people have the most unhinged bullshit takes and then always end it with like, it's so obvious. Duh. You know, there is such a concept in, for example, showmanship that you should do things with confidence because that increases the likelihood of people appreciating your delivery and not just realizing when you make a small mistake. Take music, for example. If you play live music on stage and you make a minor mistake, instead of like hanging up on it, like interrupting something, making an angry face and that kind of stuff, just push through it. Pretend that this was exactly what you wanted to do. You don't even acknowledge it, and no one will even notice it or even remember it. That's the beautiful thing with confidence and showmanship. Small mistakes just get completely brushed over. I'm not sure the same thing applies to wild medical takes about having sperm powder balls. Okay? It's not the same thing. Oh, look at your little family photo on x.com, formerly known as Twitter. No bad comments can possibly be under this family photo on x.com. Tim Walls is 60, his son's 17. That means he had him at the age of 43. That is spoiled splooshies. So yeah, do you drink 47-year-old dairy milk? Okay, am I the only one who gets like real whack vibes about this argument? Like, first off, that's not really how it works. Secondly, I just see some whack job using this argument in like a Chris Hansen episode where it's like, did you know that the person you were trying to meet up with is 15? And then the person replies with like, have you ever tried to eat a bun that's 18 years out of the oven? Didn't think so. Whew! Yike-a-roonies, man.
This makes me livid. I am fighting breast cancer, not chest cancer, angry emoji. Breast cancer is sex-specific.
Gee, imagine gatekeeping cancer. You go, girl.
When the news sources such as the BBC refers to women-specific health concerns using so-called inclusive language, it erases women.
My god, I've never seen someone so desperate to be quirky and unique to the point they're gatekeeping fucking cancer. Are you kidding me? And yes, to clarify to anyone wondering at home, breast cancer can occur in both men and women. It's just more common in women. So that's actually a thing. But this poster needs this to be their identity for some reason. Oh my god. r/made me smile. Becoming my own superhero. My recovery from anorexia. Here's the left picture and the right picture. Oh my god, that is some serious bulk. Hell yeah, bro.
How does a dude end up with anorexia, though? I am assuming he's straight.
I do find the implication interesting that the thing that makes you develop like eating disorders is taking dick. That is a very interesting hypothesis. That is just kind of not correct, but it's very interesting. That's like 80% of this video. Very interesting, bro. I mean, it's not correct, but it's very interesting you would think that. You, at home, do you want to see the perfect male physique? I want to see the perfect male physique for like some gym inspo and stuff. Here we go. Why are the hands bigger than the head? I don't think that's a thing. Did you do that in school as well? When people would tell you like, if your hand fits over your face, you're more likely to develop insert, medical issue here. And you would put it here and they would like tap it so you punched your own nose. Was that something that people did in your school? Yeah, our kids were really dumb. But anyway, this picture reminded me of that. This unlocked some core memories.
Wait, I am shocked to read all the comments suggesting this was forced naughties. Your husband did your friend and had a kid. He is lying to you. There is 0% chance your husband unknowingly or unwillingly did bad stuff and made that child. The PP just doesn't work like that. There is no such thing as an unconscious boner. LOL.
Somehow, every single morning of my teenage years suggests something else. But what do I know? Every kid with an awkward boner in class did it on purpose. Confirmed. That would, that would be some pretty interesting implications. This is another one of those, like, this sounds really interesting. It's not true, but it sounds very interesting. Like, I have no idea what this initial comment is even about. You know, is it about like a repeat cheating affair that eventually ended up in a child, or is it about a one instance when the other person was doing something very bad, when then the person was like pass out drunk or something? You know, what's the context of this? There is a wider range, and I don't think we can make like a single judgment. But the last part of the comment is just demonstrably wrong. Please cease.
My God, people would do that? Go on the internet and just tell lies?
At this point, I am convinced that that is actually the norm, to be fair. Myths about first-time naughties. Replies. Virgin men will never experience pain on the penis when they lose their virginity. If a man felt pain on his pee, then he's probably gay. You see? Sexuality affects pain receptors. This is established science, according to TikTok comments. He's not man enough to handle a vajujay. That means he's gay. While it is perfectly normal for most women to feel pain when losing virginity because women are gay. I mean, they like men. That's pretty gay. Because virgin vajujays are weaker than virgin peepees. Alright, so the only thing weaker than a vajujay is a gay pee-pee, because that's when it feels pain. But a vajujay is here on the ranking, and the strongest thing ever is a straight pee-pee. What? I'm just gonna pop this little dude's bubble right here, or pop his balls theory, or whatever you want to call it. No, this is not accurate at all. Stuff can hurt sometimes, especially when you take into consideration size differences and that sort of thing when it comes to genitalia, or how hard you go, or lubrication, or any of these things. It's important with sex ed, because when you don't have it, you end up with people like this that starts ranking people's toughness in genitalia in regards to their sexual orientation. This is both homophobic and sexist and just like Bad Man's Anatomy, all in the same comment. That is absolutely astounding, man. I'm also just gonna put this out there. Like, I have a decent chunk of friends who are like gay and stuff, and some of the stuff they do on like a regular basis just for the funsies, lol XD, would probably scare the shit out of most straight dudes. I'm just gonna be honest, fam. Okay, like you have no idea. You sweet summer child. His male hormone secretion is just too extraordinary. Think of it, Shinogi. Everyone must seem female to him. An old woman, whether it's an old man, a rugby player, a sumo wrestler, they would all exude womanhood. None of them would appear male. I mean, to be fair, this is from Baki, which is like unhinged levels of masculinity. I'm not sure if it should be taken particularly seriously. It's incredibly entertaining, though, because they go these wild tangents. It's like, he has 1,000 times the testosterone of a normal man. Everyone is a little girl next to him. I love this. It's so unhinged. It's very entertaining. I actually thought pee was stored in the balls before it became a meme. Damn, you did it before it was cool. I was born in 1993, so it was 2005 when I was 12 and going through puberty. This was before the pee is stored in the balls meme started floating around, unless I was just social media illiterate back then. I mean, social media barely existed back then outside like MySpace or whatever. So, you know, these kind of memes just didn't really exist in the same way. Because my uber-religious Southern Baptist mom didn't trust YouTube, which FTWDK had come out that year. She had child block on my internet privileges back in the days of dial-up, so I didn't know much about the male reproductive system. When I was 12, I actually thought sperm came out of the male body through the urine. I have a specific memory of when I was taking a pee one day, looked at my urine and I was pissing and said, well, there goes my male splooshies. What hilarious thing did you believe in while going through puberty? Oh, I would love people to tell me these kind of stories in the comments. This is gonna be a really entertaining comment section. You know how YouTubers are always like, I read every single comment? Well, in this video, I will actually read every single comment because this is gonna be really entertaining. This is gonna be my entire afternoon, baby.
If you're 5'7" tall, then you're a lion. Monday, you do tuck jumps and double crunches, and then you have Wednesday, Friday. Okay, but if you're 5'9", then you're a dog. If you're 5'11", then you're like a bulldog or whatever. But if you're 6'1", then you're is that a corgi? Then you're a corgi. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday workout plans. If you're 6'3",
there's none for me. There's none for the 6'2" boys. Am I a corgi or a tiger? Please.
Well, if you're 6'3", then on Monday you do whatever that.
Can I have more pixels? Apparently not. 20 pixels. And Wednesday more pixels. Muscles. These ads are so unhinged. I'm looking at ripped, furry-esque, muscular dogs and tigers, and they have random height measurements next to them with both workout programs. Man, these are the kind of ads they're afraid of showing on videos on YouTube when they say frick too many times.
Oh no, you said frick one time too many. Our sensitive advertisers don't want to associate with you. Look at this quality brand awareness. How could they want to place their ads on your videos?
Man, they should pay me double to place this garbage on my videos. Are you kidding me? Ooh, baby. Speaking about ads, you should stop running, because look at this person. Why is he running? That's a crap load of muscle, though. This must be like a sumo wrestler or something. They are like legitimate, scary powerhouses. It's insane. Start fasting, though. That's what you should do. So what you do is drink coffee for 7 hours, then drink water for 9 hours, and then drink tea for 11 hours, and then eat blueberries for 13 hours, then tacos for 15 hours, and pizza for 17 hours. That doesn't sound like fasting, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I mean, drinking coffee for 7 hours will make you out every single intestine in your entire body, but, you know, after that, you're gonna pretty much build it all back. This is insane. All the ads are going in the direction of, like, crappy mobile games. This isn't the standard you should follow. Please, companies. Enough is enough. I heard that in the Philippines, people believe circumcision makes you grow taller. When there are ads like this, it doesn't seem far-fetched. Circumcision, Thule, only 1,500. Look at this. He grows really buff. Wait, is this a real ad? Are you kidding me? Is this a real ad? Whenever I read stuff like this, I'm always a little bit skeptical if it's just like rage baiting and like racially baiting stuff and, you know, spreading misinformation online. But is this an actual ad? This is insane in that case. Oh my god. This is like the reverse. You know, now we have two theories, okay? If you get circumcised, you either get autism or you get ripped as hell. It's one of the two. Let's keep reading in this video to see if we can nail it down, baby. This is very exciting. Or maybe it's both. Maybe when you get circumcised, you just get super muscular and autistic. Oh my god, man. Damn.
Oh my god, that's like literally so me.
Ah, here is another wholesome post. I see there is a bear already on the site, but any chance I could buy a gummy bear mold to be used? Also, can male splooshies be used in items? Really wanting a... 264 people were like,
oh my god, this is so funny. I want a keychain filled with bodily liquids. That is so fucking wholesome. Ooh, family vibes for everyone, baby.
You know, keychain plushies seem like a really, really good item now, in contrast to some of the stuff that is apparently out there on the market. Yay.
Okay, so hear me out. So working out makes your muscles big and strong. So a PP is a muscle, so wouldn't stroking it make it grow bigger?
Stroking it makes it grow bigger. I mean, I think you should try it. The results might be fascinating to you, you know? just gonna leave it at that. Or maybe they mean like boob curls, but for men. You know, you put a little weight on it and like,
fucking dick curls, bro. Have you done your dick set today? Oh yeah, bro.
Nice dick bicep, bro. That's what I see in front of me. That is absolutely amazing. Like, it has a little bicep bump. Hell yeah. Do you seriously think different sexes have different numbers of ribs? Yes, men have one less rib. I mean, didn't they teach us this in health class or science? No, this is something Facebook moms cooked up because of the Bible stories about Adam giving up a rib. And then apparently men have like an uneven number of ribs, which like, you can literally just feel it! Just touch yourself! I mean, not like that, but like touch yourself like this! Science! Dick bone. I knew a man, he was 32 years old at the time, who said, can't remember the exact context, oh, but I wouldn't want to break my pee-pee bone doing that. Dead serious. I mean, you can break it, just like you can break anything in your body that isn't specifically a bone. There can be muscles that break, and fibers that get ripped apart and that sort of stuff. You can break stuff that isn't bones per se. So, half correct, I suppose, but man, I asked him to clarify. He said, the bone in my pee-pee. Okay, so he was actually serious. It wasn't about like breaking something. It was like, okay, cool. He thought men had a literal bone in their pee-pee that got hard when aroused and then went soft again. Hence the term a boner, a magical boner bone. 32. And this was in Australia, where we are definitely thoroughly educated about reproductive anatomy by the age of 12. How would like a bone like that work, man? The engineering me is like very intrigued now. Is it like one of those blowfish kind of contraptions? Where it's like very flexible and stuff, but then the bone aligns in a certain way, so it like expands and stiffens up, because of the intricate little geometry in the bones. Man, are pee-pees pufferfish? I thought that was boobs. An Audible ad for this popped up on my Facebook. What the heck, man? The soccer field is empty. Oh, look at this anatomy. Oh my god. I mean, I could get behind, the lads just like working out with the balls after soccer practice, so to say. That's perfectly normal vibes, but like, damn. That is what happened to their spines, man. The equivalent to women is attention. If you women could understand. Go 6 weeks as a woman without talking, getting talked to, being ignored by your family, relatives, and friends, etc. Attention is to women what sex is to men. You see, if your family doesn't frick you at least once every 6 weeks, then you get depressed as a man. That's my takeaway from this post. Okay, it's a little bit of a cheesy line, but I feel like sometimes people on the internet need to hear it. Men and women are the same fucking species, okay? Men and women are more similar than they are different. We are all social creatures. We used to have tribes, okay? Even before we lived in like fucking Twitterland. Dear God, my own kids that I spilled are the same demons haunting me. Energy never dies, and a male orgasm releases unborn spirits. Since you are their father, they will attach themselves to you like leeches. And since you killed your own kid's family bloodline descent, they will haunt you in a certain way, in my own experience. Splooshies or naughty energy is the most powerful force in existence. Are you sure about that? What about a black hole? Anyway, because it is what makes life itself. Your seed is alive within you. Benefits are not really benefits. It's just life emanating through you in every way. That is spiritual, mental, or physical. Splooshies only dying when you are spilling it. Even if you impregnate, only one will remain alive. It is still homicide. Oh my god, this is like crappy abortion rhetoric, but on absolute crack, right? Every time you do the self-naughties, it's murder. And if you do it with the intention of making a baby, it is still murder, because not all of the splooshies make it to become a baby. It is inherently mass murder. Isn't that beautiful? Remember that. Okay, well, what is this going to do for anyone's life? Why should I remember this? Only one can understand how deep that message is if he experienced being full of life. This is some like r/I'm 14 and this is deep on absolute crack. I swear to God. People who relapse struggle to get back because their own unborn children haunt them. The demon spirits because their murder make their spirits corrupted. It's deep though, and I don't want to go too much in depth, but yeah, it's deep though. It's so deep, man. It's so deep. You know, these like little cells or whatever, if they die, that's literally a spirit. When does the soul come into existence? I would love someone like this to like try to expand on this concept. Like, when does the soul exist and get attached to, like, a potential human, or whatever you want to call it? Because this isn't fertilized in any way. It's not conscious or anything like that. It's literally just like a cell, like any other cell, or whatever, you know? It has a bit of genetic information in it. That's it. This is that thing. It's a blueprint to make something. It isn't actually something yet, okay? When do you think, like, the spirit or demon is attached to it or whatever? I would love to hear them actually expand on this, because so many people with these unhinged things, I wonder if they actually have thought it through enough to actually have, you know, those kind of divisive points in their theories. I would guess not, because that's why he's not expanding on it, which is a shame. Gender equality, diversity hiring, and here's a video of someone doing some really dangerous work on a building or something. Men will rather glorify unsafe and dangerous jobs than treat women with dignity. As someone who is perceived as a man, I wouldn't do this job. Yet most people wouldn't do this job, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't sound like a good job.
It requires testosterone to do this job, which gay men and women doesn't have.
Oh my god, the internet really did wonders for like the pseudo-intellectual community. And by pseudo-intellectual, I mean absolute moronic takes that have nothing to do with reality. Both of them have testosterone, you absolute troglodyte!
Rio, date of birth, height 5'10", height 150 pounds.
Wait, you're 150 pounds, 5'10", and you look like that? Holy shite. That is, how?
Is it normal if I'm a straight woman and find 95% of men physically unattractive? Men's looks haven't evolved since the Stone Age because they never had to compete on looks until now. What? Hopefully competitive forces will weed ugly men out of the gene pool, as they have done for women for so long.
What kind of femcel take is this? Oh my god.
Perhaps in the future men and women will be sexually monomorphic instead of dimorphic as we are now. So no, it's not you. You're not alone and you are normal. I question my sexuality all the time until I see the purple unicorn that is an attractive male and think, yep, I am straight after all.
I am a picky dater, therefore eugenics are cool. Thank you. Next post, please. Oh no, it keeps going. No.
Yes, I find about 1% of men attractive, and of that 1%, I'm probably attracted to about 1/10 of those. I am 100% hetero. I'm not picky, I'm just absolutely unbearable as a person.
Do you like have the same standards on yourself? That's what I would be like super interested in hearing about these people. Do you think you are like the top literally 0.01% of people when it comes to like dating interest or whatever? Of course, not to make things too purely numerical, because there is also subjectivity and, you know, just genuine chemistry and bonding when it comes to attraction. But in the dating market, so to say, there are definitely people that are more, so to say, conventionally attractive. This is something you see very much in trends on Tinder, for example, where, you know, just based on your looks or how well you take photos, really, is like the whole contributor to how many matches you get. It's a very, very, very skin-deep thing. But what I would like this person to explain, if they seriously believe they are in like top 0.001% of females as compared to the males they are talking about, because 99.999% of men are just a hideous sexist shit.
I am not sure what it is. Most men in America nowadays at least just seem so gross. Just ruddy, oily, thick, vein popping, scruffy, dirty looking, and stupid and perverted and aggressive and mindless acting.
This whole thing is so ironic, right? Because this whole thing is so aggressive and bitter and all that kind of stuff. You know how I usually say, and this has come up in many videos where we talk about like bad women's anatomy and not how girls work, right? There is a vast difference between simply not finding someone attractive for a relationship or a hookup or whatever you're looking for, and violently over people that don't happen to land in your preference, right? Having a preference is fine. Going out of your way to be like oddly angry and bitter at people who don't fall into your preference is weird, okay? Both are very different. This definitely lands in category 2, okay? This is weird.
I feel their testosterone levels are too high or something, and they just all seem violent, mindless, utterly clueless, insensitive, and look like they're about to have a heart attack. I wonder if all the hot genes got lost in wars over the last few hundred years, or the last few generations of parents weren't that choosy and the results were a bad lots of the male species.
But, okay, if that theory was true, if your theory is basically boomers didn't care about how their partner looked, so therefore all dudes are bad nowadays, basically, wouldn't that be true for everyone, including women? You know? What? That is so weird, man. This is so weird.
Something is up. I don't even think it's just the obesity rate or the fact that men generally don't try to know or how to make themselves attractive. In general, American men in this day and age are mostly just not attractive inside or out. I do think men from European countries are much more attractive compared to the white men in America.
Thanks for the really weird compliment, I suppose, but I don't think you need to, like, on others to hand out compliments, okay? This is like bully territory.
Also, I see photos of men 100 years ago and they look incredibly attractive compared to what is available now.
Don't you think It's just a little bit of selective bias, you know? The photos that have literally been stored and valued throughout 100 years of history probably aren't like the everyday selfie of some random farmer. Okay? It's probably like the actors and the models and like the musicians of the time. It's probably not the regular Joe. Okay? In the very same way, most of the pictures you see that are the most popular if you go to like recommended for you pages or whatever, or you see in newspapers or in magazines or something, it's not really normal looking people. It's celebrities, it's models, it's actors, it's musicians that also sell a lot of records because they're hot. Okay? This is this is just media. This is how media has always worked.
I have thought about this a lot, and I don't understand it. Is it possible we have reached a point in evolution where we are truly going backwards, and people are reproducing too much, having too many bad offspring? Super offensive to say, I guess, but what other time in history has it been so easy to pop out kids and stay alive? I hate to say this too, but I think the silent generation was much more attractive than baby boomer generation.
Oh, it's the silent generation. Okay, so they popped out all the ugly babies. So boomers are ugly, and then they made more ugly babies. Got it.
Is this a product of people just indiscriminately popping out kids after World War II? Also, how many good men did we lose in the wars of the 20th century, and what effect did this have on the genetics of ensuing generations? We might have very well lost forever from the gene pool some of the best of the male species, because
the male species. This is the same vibe of those dudes that talk about females. You know, it's the exact same vibe, just reversed. Holy shit. They're really talking about just regular dudes like they're cattle. Ah, this is absolutely wild.
Because they died young in war while the less fit men stayed behind and reproduced more.
This whole post is just like Eugenics 101, isn't it? This is great. Thanks. I find about 1% of men attractive, and of that 1%, I'm probably attracted to about 1/10 of those. Okay, either you're just insanely picky, and you have some really wild takes. You should probably not be on the internet this much, okay? You have gone down some really wild rabbit holes. This is basically like incildom, but for women. It's basically femcilism. This is bad. Secondly, you might also just need a bit more to be attracted to people. Attraction works very differently depending on who you are as a person. That doesn't mean you have to be gay or whatever, because it seems like you're very strong-willed about being 100% straight or whatever, which, like, sure, whatever, go off, I don't give a shit. But whether you are straight or gay or whatever, there's still this concept that some people just like people more when they get to know them. Not everyone is super eager to jump into bed with strangers, no matter how attractive they are, okay? And this is actually quite common, we just don't talk about it that much. Chemistry is very much a thing, and this is something I can attest to myself. People become truly attractive when you get to know them for real, and you both like how they look, but you also like who they are, and the chemistry you have, and what you do together, and you're like on the same wavelength, and everything just works out and easy. That's when someone becomes like attractive, okay? This is a thing. It's a thing. Talk to people, for God's sake, instead of spewing femcel bullshit on Reddit. Jesus Christ, woman. Imagine you go back to her place after the first date and she pulls out one of these bad boys. PP meter. Small, average, enormous, mighty. Ah, yes, indeed. The mighty is like this. The dude will die of blood loss when he gets it up, and the woman will be literally cleaved in half. Both die brutally. That is great. I can fit my dick in all those holes. Guess I win. Touché. Women don't dislike short men because they're short. They instinctively detect male height as the karmic reservoir for ancestral p-wording. Oh dear, that's a lot of words. They ask us if we would love them as worms because they know being reborn as a worm is the karmic consequence of wearing cosmetics. Yes, indeed. You see, women ask the meme question, would you still love me if I was a worm? Because they wear makeup, and makeup is a sin, and therefore she knows she's gonna be reborn as a f***ing worm, so she makes sure that she can still lock you down, even though her karmic reservoir is low. Male height as the karmic reservoir for ancestral p-wording. What in the actual ass? I think the exact same thing about homeless people. What did this guy do to deserve this in a past life? I often think to myself, these kind of like room temperature IQ people going off on X.com thinking they're the next philosophical intellectual God has given to humanity. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, it's unbearable. I think they're being dumb on purpose to promote rage-based engagement. I like your way of saying it's rage-based. I should just start commenting this to people that have these kind of opinions. Just, hey man, are you stupid on purpose? For you, yes! It's another fitness ad. Booyah! Okay, let's get into it. Alcohol-free challenge according to The Age. What are these pictures? Okay, I'll grow nipples instead of eyeballs if I follow this program. That is great. Age 30. Breakfast. 1 medium pear, 1 slice of toast. Nothing on it, just, okay. And 2 boiled eggs. That's not too bad. Okay, maybe you should drink something as well, but okay, it's not too far off. Lunch, sliced turkey or chicken, 1/2 cup of yam, and 1 cucumber. Dinner, spinach salad, 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, and 1 banana. That's really good. AI-generated diets. The stupidest stuff that has come out this year. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Sadly not. There's so much stupid stuff, but it's probably like in the top 150.
Bro, what are you doing? Bro, we have the best anatomy in the world. Oh my god, what happened to them? Please.
How it feels when your balls are so full of pee and they start to hurt. Oh my god, it's the Palantir balls full of pee. Please, Mr. Palantir. POV, you're dead inside. That is such a sad TikTok. Let's see what the comments has to say. Why are his fingers hairy? Yes, indeed. Emotional therapy support on TikTok. I would not recommend. Imagine that. You just open up to your followers on the wholesome platform, TikTok.com, and they just start talking about why your fingers are hairy. Oh, this is great.
I had naughties with everybody I wanted to. Now it's time to get married.
That sounds like just your 20s in a nutshell, doesn't it? Lady reveals her next goal. Then her offspring suffers a range of personality disorder due to multiple chromosomal jig-jam. Oh, yes, indeed, the scientific concept of chromosomal jig-jam. Yep, her children, if truly her husband, will surely exhibit a mixture of traits accumulated from her exes and stored up as DNA fragments. This is called microchemicism in genetics. And it has also been debunked countless times in its absolute BS. But that's beside the point. I said it confidently on Twitter. That means it's, sorry, on x.com. On x.com. That means it's true. Oh, come here, my little twink. Ooh, woo. This is a wild anatomy. Oh, no, it keeps going. Look at this. My God. If this head, you know, is supposed to be the normal head size of an average adult male, this means his body is like 400 pounds of pure muscle, at least. Oh my god.
Look at those shoulders, man. Oh my god. It's like this. It's like out here.
It's like those old-fashioned superhero comic books, you know, when the women have a waist that is about this big, and all the shoulders on the dudes are like out here, you know? It's really funny, though. I do appreciate, like, ridiculous comic proportions, just because it's ridiculous and funny.
When he says it his first time, but it looks like this wrinkly sausage. The pee-pee of a virgin. Pee-pee is still large and healthy. It hasn't been crushed inside dozens of vajayjays, and will one day make the right woman a very happy wife. The pee-pee of a man who's had multiple naughty partners. Look how thin and splush that is. Pee-pee has shriveled down to less than 1/3 of its original size due to pressure in the vajayjay, and will no longer be able to pleasure any woman.
I mean, this is, I think this is satire based on all those, like, oh my god, if you do the naughties with a lot of men, it will literally deform it. You know, there are a lot of these wild theories online, right, that you can very easily debunk with just the smallest line of logic. So, for example, if your body would so easily deform for anything, why wouldn't it deform when you have the same partner? You know? That's absolutely wild. Or, for example, there are other theories that circulate the internet, like, for example, mewing. Mewing is like when you suck up like this, and it's supposed to change, you know, your jaw shape and make you more sigma. But in reality, it's just like a photo posing thing, right? You just suck it up to show off your jawline a bit more. But people legitimately believe this would, like, change your jawline. So you really think bones are that soft and malleable? We walk on our feet the entire day. So wouldn't that mean our legs would just be like little crunchy little pieces of shit after one day of just walking around if bones were truly that malleable? People just don't think, man. It is absolutely astounding.
The solution to male loneliness is literally just being a better person.
Loneliness isn't a punishment doled out to bad people. I think that reply is really good, because I think what the initial commenter is trying to talk about is like the communities online, for example, that have very nasty views of women, as an example. But at this point, you're roping in every single person who can be dealing with any amount of issues in life, whether it be that they have had such poor experiences in relationships and abusive partners that they simply cannot bring themselves to open up to anyone, and therefore they rather spend their days alone. Or maybe they're dealing with mental health issues, or maybe they are struggling to make friends, or they have a job that is so demanding and they're supporting a family and stuff like that they simply don't have enough free time. There can be countless reasons for this. There is a vast difference between specifically criticizing, for example, the ideas or the ideologies you want to criticize, versus doing this like really weird pulling everyone over the same line and saying that if you ever find yourself lonely, it's probably because you suck as a person and you should blame yourself and get better and blah blah blah. This is really nasty. It's a crisis y'all started, and like most women, y'all refuse to take accountability for it. I don't agree with that either. This isn't a gender war thing. We can acknowledge that stuff in the world is like more difficult or disconnected, or for example, dating apps aren't really good for anyone, or mental health has declined much faster since, for example, COVID happened. A lot of these things can be problems without turning them into team sports. That's what I hate about this debate in general. Stuff like this isn't a team sport. It's like that stupid post in the beginning of the video when someone was trying to gatekeep a breast cancer. It is one thing to talk about statistics regarding a topic, for example, and who is more likely to be affected by it if there is a wider societal problem regarding something. That is perfectly fine. But you can do that while also not erasing individual experiences. It's like that post about eating disorders as well. Men can have eating disorders as well. It's a very stereotypical problem that affects, for example, young girls, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen to anyone else, and it doesn't make their struggle any less real. And the same thing goes in this kind of stuff, and saying stuff like, oh, women refuse to take accountability. This is bogus, and I hate these arguments in both directions because it just creates like this weird, whack gender war.
The male loneliness crisis is not an actual crisis. Get some friends and get a life. It's not women's problem that you're lonely. You're lonely probably because you have no social skills to make friends or get a partner. Work on yourself.
A lot of the points in this are good, like, work on yourself, go outside, go to places where people typically do socialize, but it also makes it sound too easy, right? Just get some friends and get a life. It's like, if someone is struggling, like seriously struggling in life, you don't like look down on them and say like, get friends and get a life. Like that is not really productive in these instances. Male loneliness crisis, a very like memed thing that is discussed back and forth online. And I think a lot of people are just lonely nowadays, especially after COVID, with social media being such a big part of our lives, with like the economy being in the state it is, and you don't really have that clear, ladder that you used to have, like, oh, when you turn 30, you buy a house and get a bunch of kids and stuff. Oh, you can't even afford a house. Well, whoop-de-doo, what do I do now? I think it's very prominent with people that also seek out the online world. For example, at least people I have met in real life that struggle a lot with, for example, sociability, or they find themselves in a rut in life, often seek out online communities to make friends, or to play video games, or to pass time, or just forget the problems of the real world. And one thing that comes with this, I believe at least, is, for example, online dating. It's much easier to make a Tinder profile than it is to try to find some place where there are a bunch of single people IRL that you may or may not have something in common with. Online dating, on paper, is really efficient and really good. The problem with online dating, of course, is that it skews the whole system incredibly much. It like takes the stuff that is true, like for example bias depending on how people look, but it like puts it on absolute crack. So there is a video, I'll link it down below, but it simulates how many matches you're expected to get on Tinder depending on like if you're a man or a woman, and how good looking you are, for example, and that kind of stuff. And it's a pretty bleak picture for like everyone involved. It's typically not very fun for the women either. The only one who really benefit from like a Tinder-esque system are like the top 1% of like good-looking people. That's it. No one else benefits from it. It's a trash system. Tinder is basically equivalent to like who gets the most likes on Instagram. That is basically Tinder, but somehow it's supposed to work for dating. It's not particularly good. So I think if you're struggling with loneliness, struggling with life, and you seek out the online world or seek out online dating as a attempt to like cure this or get out there or something, and those are the systems you're met with, of course it's gonna feel like a big like middle finger to everything, and it's gonna feel like everything sucks, It's important to work on yourself, but it's also important to recognize where there are things in the world that are genuinely detrimental to young people. Because when you start openly talking about it is when you fill the vacuum that is now being filled with really bad ideologies. This is a similar thing to what I talk about sometimes with, for example, mental health advice I see coming out of places like TikTok. The communities and stuff online can be very good, but it's very obvious some of it come from a place where it's filling a vacuum. There is such bad access when it comes to, for example, help with mental health or talking to someone. Sometimes it's so expensive that people simply can't afford it, and you get these like offshoots of these communities online that just spread blatant misinformation about very serious topics. And this kind of stuff happens because it fills a vacuum. And that's the kind of thing, and I think we need to be open with these sort of topics and talk about it, and not turn it into like some gender war. You can't go around and say like, oh, I deserve women because I'm lonely. It's like, no, get the fuck out of here. You don't. But you also can't just like finger wag on people and be like, get some friends and get a life. If you struggle with anything as a man, it's because you're probably a piece of shit. It's like, no. Is that what you think like an 18-year-old dude struggling with his self-image needs to hear? It just goes on and on, doesn't it? The internet is a beautiful way. Be a decent person, okay? Good takeaway. Don't be a butthole. Let's get into some more lighthearted educational content, shall we? The male brain. You see, now we're gonna talk about the male brain. We have ball sports, dangerous pursuits, crotch scanning area. What is that? Toilet aiming cell. You see, it's super tiny because men pee everywhere. Ability to drive manual transmission. That's an entire part of our brain. It's not that difficult. Most people I know, men and women, can drive manual. Oh my god, what? Listening particle. You see, it's very small because men cannot listen. We only talk about sport. This whole thing just feels like some bitter ex made about their ex-partner. I'm gonna be honest. Like, oh, they only talked about sport? Thought about the big naughties? Oh yeah, the 2 biggest boxes are about naughties, by the way. Just putting it out there. I mean, maybe this is satire. This might be satire, but in the off chance that it's not, get a new partner. Holy shit. If this is genuinely how you feel about your partner, break up. Oh my god. It's like those old boomer jokes where it's like, I hate my wife. And I was like, wow, that's so relatable. This is that, but like reverse. Oh, I hate my husband. He pees everywhere. God damn. Go to therapy.
Gonna start describing male characters I write as ugly but doesn't know it.
Oh, that's a funny spin-off. She was a 10 out of 10, but had no clue whatsoever when she boobily-boobled down the stairs. He ballsily-balled down the stairs. BuzzFeed. Oh, time for some quality content, baby. Men are sharing the non-sexual types of physical touch they love, and it's an inside look at their brains. I guess they're not all horn dogs. Thanks, BuzzFeed. That is very generous of you. Wow. I'm actually a little bit impressed. I expected this to be worse because it's from BuzzFeed. This is just like kinda bad, but it's not as horrific as I thought it would be. So like, well, no, I'm not gonna give it half a gold star. It's BuzzFeed.
Down where I find his butthole, dripping wet with anticipation.
I think he just has diarrhea, fam. This is just diarrhea, okay?
Dude, where's my shirt? Look at all these books without shirts. Yes, indeed. Remember, shirts were invented by anti-romance novel companies to sell more other novels. Yeah.
Romance 101. A girl's guide to boys. Conversation starters.
I wish they would teach us more about Vikings.
That is a good one.
I wish they would teach us more about Vikings.
What the fuck? Maybe it's a good way to get the ball rolling about something, but it's like first thing you say when you match with someone on Tinder.
I wish they taught us more about Vikings in school.
Okay. John Hamm's pee-pee takes its owner out for a walk. Look at this. We probably have to blur this up, but that's amazing. Look at this reporter just basically taking creep shots of the celebrity's crotch, talking about their balls being visible through their pants. Oh my god. There's a flame emoji and 1.13 million something. Does that mean that this article is being viewed a lot? Man, reporters are just professional creeps, aren't they? File to celebrity pieces. You have an actual category in your newspaper that is celebrity pee-pees, where you just go and do paparazzi creep shots of people's crotches in public. That is, man, wow. I am stunned how gross this is.
And straight guys already willingly hang out with each other shirtless, call it a primal way of sizing each other up, so having a perpetually...
Oh, it cuts off, that is such a shame.
But yeah, I can totally relate. Bro, check out this bicep. I've been going to the gym, bro. Oh, hell, bro, nice bicep. Can I squeeze it, bro? Yeah, bro. Oh, what a nice biceps. Yeah, bro, thank you, bro. Oh, yes, indeed. I've also done a lot of squats, bro. Oh, yeah, can I see your gut, bro? Oh, yeah, bro, nice gut, bro.
Yeah, it's just average, straight homie sleepover parties. He struggled to get out of the bath, his bottom squeezing against the enamel, and stood his tomato scrotum hanging long and steaming. There sure is a lot of literature in the world. Isn't that just great, man? Wow.
Believe it or not, I'm somebody's son. Please respect the fact that I refuse to grow up. My mom taught me many invaluable lessons, but the only one I remember is that I deserve love without reciprocation. Either be my mommy or have a slow psychological breakdown because I'll never understand your needs.
Break the fuck up! What is with these people making these like sweeping statements like, oh my god, no man can ever take care of a household. And then oh my god. Susan, your deadbeat piece of husband isn't the rest of our problems, okay? Dump the man. Don't make it our problem. What the fuck? From a boy's puberty book written by a straight woman. If only she knew how much random boners boys get.
For boys, things that are associated with erections naturally become naughty things.
That's not good. That's not good. This can be an implication for all kinds of bad stuff that happen to people. This is not good. That's a really bad thing to put in the book, man. Damn.
19-year-old Sienna is the only virgin in the pack.
Is it this again? Like the wolf love story? Oh my god, yes.
Who will be her first, one and only? What? Oh, they're in the woods, walking around and everyone is shirtless. That's great.
This was originally posted on Men Writing Women, but it's actually written by a woman. I wonder how many of these people are furries in denial. I'm gonna be honest, man. I mean, this comment is like 5 years old. I would be interested in like looking this up and see if they just went full furry or not. That is for science. For science.
21, you don't usually want to know. When you find half-eaten food in the bathroom, you just pick it up with a paper towel and forget about it. Men like to eat in the bathroom. It's weird and it often repulses women, but they have their reasons.
Am I the only one who gets the vibe that so many other people writing these like generic advice articles just have like an absolute Neanderthal as a man, and then they have somehow assumed every single man is like this, and then they make these generic like advices as if it's gonna help people in general. When your man eats in the bathroom, am I right, ladies? What?
Don't touch it. A man's Adam's apple is really sensitive.
No?
Seducing her might take some time. I know consensual naughties is what I'm known for, but I'm in the mood to do things this second. I'm usually known for consensual naughties.
This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Who made this? Please no. Consensual naughties is what I am known for. r/brand new sentence. Now all we need is a shirt. Yeah, having that on the back of your shirt is one of those things that I think raises more questions than it answers it. It's like people that go out of their way to clarify, like, guys, I'm not a predator, okay? I'm not a predator. Like, no one asked. Why are you saying this? I also didn't murder anyone. There is no bodies buried in my backyard, okay? Why are you saying this? More from BuzzFeed. Oh, baby, please. More like this. 28 tweets about men from this month that made me laugh so hard a little pee came out. Thank you, BuzzFeed. 19 tweets that absolutely obliterated men this month. Thank you, BuzzFeed. 21 tweets that brilliantly ended men this month. This is similar to those like YouTube drama videos where they make the same title over and over and over again. It's like, situation just got worse. Situation is now over. Situation just intensified. Drama situation is crazy. You know that? It's like that, but with like BuzzFeed's sexist clickbaits. GG BuzzFeed. I guess they have cracked it. They have been around for a while.
One man can impregnate 9 women every day for 9 months. Those are 2,430 pregnancies.
Gee, calm down there, Genghis Khan.
One woman can only get pregnant once within 9 months, even if she beds 9 men every day within 9 months. That's only 1 pregnancy. So clearly society is placing the birth control responsibilities on the wrong gender. Science is busy making pills and hormone-altering devices for the wrong person. Meanwhile, the culprit is known and on the loose.
So this is an argument a woman made, that men should be responsible for the reproductive stuff because they can impregnate 2,500 women per year, but a woman can only have like 1 baby every 9 months. Damn, what a trash post. I'm not gonna say that's entirely accurate, however, contraception is a two-way street. It's equal responsibility to ensure that pregnancy isn't made, be it a man wearing a condom or a woman using birth control, or ensure that your partner will use either or during sex. And it could go the other way, that with advances in male versions of birth control and in female condoms, or however your form of contraception may be. A casual hookup is amazing, so long as you don't want to have to handle it for the next 18 years of your life. It's all participating individuals who need to be responsible. And there's also more stuff than just kids, you know, it's also STDs and that kind of stuff, you know. I'm gonna be honest, if you start making this argument like, oh my god, it should be this person or that person or she is or blah blah, whichever way it comes from, I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like you sound mature enough to do activities that could result in babies. I'm gonna be honest, just maybe both people have some responsibility because, you know, it takes two people to tango, fam. Be a mature partner. Dear God. When I wake up from a boredom-induced nap, the late evening light is throwing shadows that highlight the raging boner tenting my boxers. I think that's all we need to read from this text. Thank you. Oh, it's this lady again. No.
Do men wake up and think, oh wow, I just wish I could have some more quality time with my woman today? No, be real. They want sex, silence, and a sandwich.
You know, the funny thing about this is that this girl is obviously like the pickiest pick-me that ever picked, right? It's like, oh my god, women are so annoying, right? Pick me, please. You know, absolute grift. But the funny thing is that it also kind of craps on men. Every single man I know, at least, wants a partner. You know, that's kind of like the point of a relationship, right? It's so weird that this is being pushed. Like, oh my god, the kind of people you would attract, the audience you would attract with this message is abhorrent.
Sorry, being a male just seems so miserable, Lemao.
Oh my god, is this gonna be like an empathetic post and be like, man, men can have it rough too, you know? Is that where this is going? That's kind of wholesome.
Most of them have such ugly bodies and having a dick just seems uncomfortable.
I guess not.
They have to do all the work doing naughties. The only contribution to humanity is a 3-second sploosh. They have surface level friendship.
It didn't take the wholesome angle I was hoping for, did it?
Mr. Shah, I don't know why it's getting like this every morning.
Oh, there's something poking me in the back.
They're standing like a meter apart. Oh my god. And what do you mean in the morning? Is she a teacher or the mom? This is just... What is this? This is so bad. No, not this again!
I heard that Kumi of Awari is beautiful, so I came to do naughty things.
This character is unhinged. This character is a menace to anything civilized society stands for. What in the actual frick?
Gentlemen, stand closer to the toilet. It's shorter than you think and much smaller than your ego.
I mean, I've heard horror stories, right, about people making a mess in office spaces and that sort of stuff, but I'm not sure about putting up like a insulting sign to like everyone is the solution to go by. That just comes off as really bitter, I'm gonna be honest. It's not even a funny sign, come on. Well, laddies, lasses, and lassos, I do hope you enjoyed this beautiful video as much as I enjoyed having you here, you wonderful, beautiful being. Oh no, little demon, don't be shy. Oh yes, there we go. Remember to pick up your little keychain plushies in the description right now. Don't miss out on it and regret it for the rest of your mortal days. Take care, and I will see you again in the very near future. Mwah.